Today I go over the 5 most underrated players for the Qatar 2022 World Cup, as these players could really shine for their country and stand out as some of the best players throughout the tournaments for their side. As always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are enjoying the World Cup related content, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with all of our recent uploads. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So having a look at the first underrated player on the list here, we have gone with Joachim Mile. I really like him. I think he's an absolutely integral part to that Denmark side and probably a bit underappreciated, especially when you have a look at some of the other players in their team compared to Eriksen, for example, who does get a lot of praise. I do think Joachim Mile is a great player that they have in the wing-back position, and is a great option for them from an attacking perspective as well. He does provide quite a lot on the attacking end, and he was extremely good in the Euros 2020 tournament where he showed this. Having a look at some of his recent stats as well, in his 9 World Cup qualifying games for Denmark, he did produce 5 goals, which is an absolutely mammoth output for a defensive player for Denmark. So definitely a great contributor to their side in an attacking sense, and he is quite sound defensively as well. So I do think if he can get going, get involved in those goals and assists for Denmark, I think Denmark could prove to be quite the dark horse in the competition, as we have seen them play very well together in international tournaments in the past, as they did go quite far in the Euros 2020 tournament. So hopefully if Mile can continue this good attacking form as well, he could be a big part of their success in the World Cup. Moving on to the second player, this one is our Frank Zambo-Anguissa. He's been absolutely superb for Napoli so far this season, has 4 goal contributions, playing as a sort of defensive-minded midfielder. He can get forward as well and chip in with those goal contributions for Napoli, and I really like Frank Zambo-Anguissa to be a big part of that Cameroon side. If he can get going, get some attacking contributions, and be an absolute beast in midfield like he's been for Napoli so far, being a big part of their success, not only the Serie A, but also the Champions League as well, I think Cameroon could be a decent side to maybe scrape out of their group, but we'll have to see how they go. I think Frank Zambo-Anguissa could really stamp his name as one of the better players in this Cameroon side and better players in the World Cup if he can step up like he has been doing for Napoli. A player that hasn't been spoken about as much compared to some of the other massive Napoli players this season, but I think Frank Zambo-Anguissa, if he can continue this form at Cameroon, could be a great player for them in the World Cup. Moving on to the third most underrated player, I do think Brendan Aronson could have a breakout World Cup for USA, as they could potentially clutch the second place spot in their group, probably over Wales, as I do think they'd be competing with Wales for that second place spot in the group, assuming England get first. He's been very good for Leeds so far this season as well. Probably unlucky not to have as many goal contributions as he does. He has chipped in with 4 goal contributions for Leeds so far this season in around 13 to 14 games for them. So if he can just add slightly more goals and assists for USA, he could probably be their best player in the World Cup, and one that if he really steps up could clutch second place for them, as they do have a couple of other very nice assets in their team, whether that's Pulisic or also Tyler Adams as well for Leeds. He's been superb for them in CDM this season, as has Aronson in that more attacking midfield role. If he can carry this front over to USA, add some more goals and assists, he could prove to be one of the best up-and-coming midfielders and best up-and-coming USA players, especially in the next couple of years. Moving on to the number 4 player, this one is obviously quite a recognised one in Bernardo Silva, but I do think he's still underappreciated for how good he's been with Manchester City, especially this season as well. He has played in more of a holding midfield / central midfield position for Manchester City this season, but I think he's been absolutely superb at playing this role, and despite playing a lot shallower compared to other years, he's still contributed very well with his goals and assists for Manchester City. So if he can do more of this for Portugal, he could be a massive player for them this tournament and really become a stalwart in their midfield and help them get to the latter stages of the tournament, as Portugal do expect to be quite good throughout the World Cup. They would have high hopes and potentially looking to win the World Cup as well. And I do think Bernardo Silva, considering how solid he's been for Manchester City this season, could prove to be one of Portugal's best players, if not top 1 or top 2 players, in fact, throughout the World Cup, if he can contribute more from an attacking perspective. And having a look at the 5th player on the underrated list, it is Jamal Musiala. I have seen a bit of talk about Musiala and a bit of hype about him, but the main reason he's on this list is I do think he could explode onto the scene for Germany, really add those attacking goal contributions like he's been able to do for for Bayern Munich so far in the Bundesliga, as in 14 games, he has provided 15 goal contributions with 9 goals and 6 assists, so obviously averaging over a goal contribution per game, which is a very, very good tally. And if he can recreate this in that attacking midfield role for Germany, he could prove to be one of Germany's best players throughout the World Cup and really burst onto the international scene and establish himself as one of the best young players in the world if he can have a very, very good World Cup, as I've really liked his form for Bayern Munich. So if he can carry this over to Germany, he'll be a very good player for them. He hasn't added a massive amount of goals and assists for Germany throughout the World Cup qualifiers, but it's mainly his domestic form in the Bundesliga. That's my real hope for him to become a great goal scorer and assister for this Germany side throughout the World Cup and carry them to the latter stages of the tournament. Thanks for watching today's most underrated players for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe if you are liking the World Cup related content. Also, drop a comment what you thought of these underrated players as well. Do you think they should feature on this list? And as always, click that notification bell to stay up to date with all of our recent uploads. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.